second time in Japan.
Yeah.
What's the impression of this country?
The first time I was here, you know, it's always a bit strange to go to a country the first time, and I was a lot in Osaka. But so I feel a bit more relaxed here this time because I know a little bit my way around.
How would you put the Steel Wheels tour compared to your other tours? You've done several world tours.
Well, it was a very successful tour of America. We've only done America so far, so we don't consider that the world. But no, it was very successful. We played to a lot of people. We seemed to be well liked. The show, I enjoyed it. It's a lot of shows. We did, I think we did 60 shows, which is more than I like to do. But no, I enjoyed it. The set, everyone seemed to like this. The set, that we had the same set in Japan, and the lights, and we got a lot of good opinions about those.
What's the concept between Steel Wheels? The set was like a...
It's like an industrial landscape. Someone called it post-industrial deconstructivism. Like that. So it rolls off the tongue. I thought it was... Part of it was this industrial thing which you've seen in certain films, like Blade Runner and so on. I mean, I won't say that Blade Runner was a direct inspiration, but I think it was that kind of landscape that you saw in that film was underneath it a little bit.
Who do you think is the best Stone clones band? Clone band. Who do you think does the best, or who do you find interesting, so to speak?
You mean I don't know any exact copies. I don't know who they are. I mean, I know they exist, but
I see. Okay.
But there are lots of bands that have taken the style or elements of the style, like Aerosmith. I mean, they've taken the look. They took a look from the 70s. You know, I used to wear these clothes, and they still wear them. What I used to wear 12 years ago. I find that really strange. I mean, they're nice guys, and I quite like them. But I find the fact that they still look like 1976 rather odd.
Do you ever wish that you were not famous?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, but that's up to me, you know. It's in your attitude a lot. I mean, it's nice to be able to go somewhere where you can just do what you want rather than have to talk to other people. Because you can't be rude. If you're here to work, if I'm here on holiday, then I can say, okay, no, I don't want to... But if you're here to work and people come and want to talk to you, I feel that I have to sort of at least be polite.
I see.
You know, as you know, Japanese people are pretty polite anyway. So I don't have any excuse.
No. What is rock and roll to you?
Well, I suppose at one time it was like a big thing in my life. Now it's a very big thing, but not the only one. But I think it's an important part of popular culture. It's probably this single... Between rock and roll and movies, they're the two single biggest forms of popular culture, so that's what it means to me. Thank you.
Do you have a message to your Japanese fans? What could they expect from this Japanese tour?
About time.
Yeah, about time we were here playing live. And rocking.
Rocking, right. Yeah, Japanese fans have been waiting for 17 years?
No,
27.
We never played here.
No, but the first concert was supposed to be done in, what, 1972, I guess? You were supposed to be in Japan.
The Rolling Stones came here to the airport and did a press conference in 1966.
66?
On the way back from Australia, but we just did a press conference at the airport. That's the only time the Rolling Stones have been in Japan.
Yeah, there was a kind of aborted one in the 70s, wasn't there?
Yeah, we were going to have one and it was cancelled. Not by us.
By the
powers
that be.
Yeah, after they sold the tickets, they had to give them all back, I believe, yeah.
But what we can say is this will probably be the most interesting stage of the Rolling Stones' career ever, playing.
It's a very interesting stage, isn't it?
I know. I'm really looking forward to playing.
Bits you walk up and bits that come down on them.
Well, yeah, really interesting stage times too. Yeah.
He means it's an interesting time.
Interesting time.
In our career, to play before a Japanese audience as the five.
I think everybody's very excited about it.
Oh, definitely.
No, I mean us.
Right, yeah, well, your fans just can't wait. It's just a long-awaited show.
And we have some great people on stage with us, like Cindy and Lisa and Bernard and Chuck.
Keyboard players,
and Matt and Bobby Keys and the Uptown Horns. It's going to be ultimate.
See, they don't have to look at just us anymore. They can look at lots of people.
Oh, no, you're just being demure about this. Oh. Well, welcome to Japan, Keith.
Pleasure to be here, really.
This is your first time in Japan? How's it feel?
It's funny, I was in the Caribbean islands, you know, and I back to work, Tokyo, big city. It's hard to get myself off the beach, but the minute I got here, then I started to get interested. I'm learning about Japan, you know, every day, more and more. And it's getting more and more interesting for me.
Great.
You know?
What's the best part about being in the Rolling Stones?
Still being in them. Also that there seems to be a spirit that the Stones have even realized amongst themselves that they can still do better, and the Rolling Stones are still looking for the Rolling Stones. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if we're right or we're wrong, but the feeling is that, yeah, the possibility of even better Rolling Stones is still there, and we're coming, we're working on it, you know, and that is all you need to make it a good. You know?
Right. Your newest album, Steel Wheels, how do you consider it? You've done so many albums, all of them rock classics. How do you, what kind of an album is Steel Wheels to you?
I love the spirit of it, and I like, there's a lot of good songs on it. It's funny with Rolling Stones albums that sometimes it takes 2 or 3 or 4 years to find out how good they were. It's so difficult for me to you know, I'm not the guy to ask. I don't think anybody in the Stones, because you just try and do your best and give your best. Maybe that's the important thing, and everybody else decide later.
Okay. Okay. Thanks. What kind of music do you like the best? You play rock and roll naturally, but I guess you start out with
I start out in the morning with Mozart, and then I work my way slowly into the blues around the afternoon.
I see.
And then I start to rock and roll around when the sun goes down.
I see, I see. Can you give a few pointers on how to be like Keith Richards?
Yeah, don't try.
Don't try. Don't try.
You know, just be yourself. Find out who you are, and then do it. But don't try and copy me or anybody else. You know, it's find out yourself. You know, that's the important pointer.
Can you give a message to your Japanese fans?
No, I'm very happy to be here. You know, after all these years, I've always wondered why I hadn't been here before, but now I am. I could probably give you a better answer to that after a couple of shows.
Right.
But I am remarkably impressed with my first time in Tokyo. I didn't expect quite. I mean, obviously, I knew that. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people who want to see the Rolling Stones in Japan. That's obvious. And this is early days for me yet, but I'm remarkably impressed with the way people have been treating me, and they make me feel like a barbarian, actually.